Hi, everybody. It's Sonia. Welcome to the program. We still have a couple of minutes, actually, before we kick off officially. However, I noticed we have quite a group here already, so I just wanted to say hello and welcome all of you. And I always love to know who's here. So if you would, please put your name and your location in that chat box up on your screen. You should be able to just type that right in. Always good to get a feel for who's attending. We often get a pretty global audience. And while we're waiting, if you don't yet have a copy of those worksheets, the handouts that I emailed, just look over to the right-hand side. There's a button there you can click on and it should open up a form. You should be able to print those off and have them handy. It's a really great way to take notes throughout the session. Or if you just want to grab some paper, that's fine too. But you definitely want to take notes. We're going to go through some very specific examples, so be sure to have something handy. And I can see we have a lot of people here. Welcome, Peter from New Jersey. Great to have you. And also Barbara from New York. Welcome. We've got Pamela from Toronto, Canada. Wonderful. I'm a Canadian myself, Pam. It's always good to see the Canadians. And welcome to Patty here from Austin. Great to see you. Eileen from Columbus, Ohio, right in the Midwest. Got another Canadian, Jill from Vancouver. Great to see you. And Linda from Victoria, another Canadian. Boy, the Canadians are dominating. This is great. I see we also have Erin from Colorado. Fantastic. And Kathy from Sydney. Wonderful. Okay, if you're just joining us, again, we've got about a minute here before we get started. Grab something to take notes. If you need a copy of the handouts, just look over to the right-hand side of the screen. There's a button there. You can click on it. It should open up a form that you can print off. And we're just having everyone do a quick check-in. So if you just joined us, go ahead and enter your name, if you would, and your location in the chat box on the screen. I'm just doing a quick roll call and getting a sense of who's here today. So I see we have a few more. We've got Lisa from Vietnam. That's amazing, Lisa. I don't think I've ever had anyone from Vietnam on a session. That's wonderful. Welcome to you. Great to have you. And Joanne from Perth as well. Wonderful. Jackie from Los Angeles. Very nice. Betty from Cincinnati. Hazel from Scotland. Lovely. Boy, we do have a real international group. Bob from Miami. Great to have you. Janice from Portland. Welcome. Jean from Edmonton. I see we have Sonia from Paris. Love your name, Sonia. Great name, if I do say so. We got Kathy from London. Welcome. All right, Kim from Denver. Susan from Minneapolis. Edward from Singapore. Fantastic. Welcome, Edward. Boy, really international crowd here. And Paul from Vancouver. Well, welcome to all of you. Just give me one sec. I'm going to start the recording here. Be right back and we'll officially get started. Okay, let's officially get started. Welcome, everybody. This is Sonia Stringer, and the title of this webinar is The Magic Words to Selling and Sponsoring. How to talk about your business so people get it. They get it, they get excited, and they buy your products and join your team. And as I'm looking over at the chat roll, I can see we have a lot of people here, so welcome to all of you. And I do not take that for granted. I know how busy you all are, so for you to take an hour or so to come and be part of a training like this means a lot to me. And I promise you I will make this as valuable for you as I possibly can. And to help with that, it really helps to take notes. So I sent out some worksheets prior to the call. Hopefully you have those handy. And if not, you can click on that button and download a copy right now. And the reason I did this, I've heard all kinds of studies, and I really believe this to be true. Apparently, when you listen to a lecture or come to a webinar like this, if you just listen passively, we forget something like 98% of what we've heard within a couple of days. However, if you take notes, it activates a whole other part of your brain. And the retention rate goes up dramatically. And the chance of you actually using what you've learned goes up dramatically too. And that's definitely what I want for you. What you learn during this session is very simple. However, it can make an immediate difference in your sales and recruiting results. So I don't want you to sit here and just passively take this in. I truly want you to take notes and use what you've learned after the session. So hopefully you've got those handouts in front of you. If not, just grab a pen and some paper and take notes on your own. And there's a chat box there. You can ask some questions if you like. We'll take a break about halfway through. And also towards the very end, I'll have more time to take questions. So just know that's there and available. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to use that as a tool. All right, we're going to go about 75 minutes. And I encourage you, stay to the very end if you can. We will be covering a very important skill at the very end that ties all of this together, so you don't want to miss it. And I also have a very special bonus. For those of you that stick around, I've got a very cool tool that I'm going to share with you that will help you apply what you learned today in your business in some very specific ways. So definitely stick around. All right, and if you're like many of the marketing and direct sales professionals I've worked with over the years, I'm pretty certain you love your products and you love your company. However, you may be struggling a little bit to find strong, serious business builders. You may feel uncomfortable approaching people and bringing up your business opportunity with them. And if that's the case, you are definitely in the right place today. What we cover is going to make a big difference in how comfortable you feel talking to prospects, as well as the response that you'll get from them. When you use these skills, it makes it really easy for people to see value in what you're sharing with them. So generally the response is quite positive. And I know for some of you, you probably feel frustrated because you're talking to people and it's obvious that they just don't get it and they don't take you seriously. Well, again, if that's happening, you're in the right place because what you learn will make a big difference in that area. And some of you may be doing just fine. You're growing your business, you're recruiting new leaders. Even so, what you learned today can help you get even better results. You can speed up the growth of your business and not have to work nearly as hard. Many of you may know me, but just in case, let me share some very quick background on myself. I'm a professional speaker, a business coach, and a mentor. I live in lovely San Diego, California. It's just gorgeous. And I'm originally from Canada and still have a lot of family in Canada. So hello to all the Canadians here. I started my career doing something really interesting. I had a position as a national sales trainer with Tony Robbins, gentleman you probably recognize. He's the #1 peak performance coach in the world. And that was truly a life-changing experience for me. And it was during that time that I actually got connected to network marketing. When I worked with Tony in various cities, we would be invited in to do training for many of the network marketing and direct sales companies. So that's how I originally started doing training in this profession. That was about 17, 20 years ago now. I'm totally dating myself, I know, but just to give you the history. And I'm actually founder of SavvyNetworkMarketingWomen.com, which is an online community that currently helps about 150,000 women from all different network marketing and direct selling companies, help you create more income and more impact through your business. Now, obviously, there are many men involved in that community too, and you're certainly welcome. I just happen to specialize a little more in terms of working with women. And I included a headshot here. Here's what I look like. Obviously, this is a professional headshot. I had some hair and makeup help, so this isn't what I look like every day. I actually included a photo of me. Let me see if I have it here. This is what I look like more on a regular basis. Oh yeah, there we go. Nothing like working from home, right? You can roll out of bed, pick up the phone, get to work, keep things casual. I love it. Before we go any further though, let me quickly acknowledge you because you are so smart to be involved in network marketing and direct sales. This is truly the golden age of this profession. And there are 3 really exciting trends happening that are coming together that are accelerating this business opportunity and the reputation of this profession in a really interesting way. The first being the recession. Most of you know that things got really challenging here in the US a few years ago, and with all the corporate layoffs and up and down cycles in the market, more people than ever recognize that job security is a thing of the past and that to have a second income is a really smart thing. So people who previously were never looking at network marketing or direct sales are now doing so, which is obviously great news for you. There's another amazing trend that you've probably heard of, and that is that there are more women starting businesses today than ever before. American Express published a report that states over 550 women a day in the US are starting their own businesses. And that's not just here. This is a global trend. It's happening in Canada. It's happening in the United Kingdom and also in Australia and many other countries. And a lot of these gals are leaving pretty established corporate jobs, but they're fed up with not making the money that they want to make and having all the stress and the long hours and everything else that goes with that. And a lot of these smart, savvy women are now seeing the potential of network marketing and direct sales like never before. And I know that because a lot of them are my clients. And I've never seen such a group of smart, savvy, skilled women joining this profession as I have in the last 5 years. So obviously that's good news for all of you, because to have these gals join your team is a very good thing. And social media tools like Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, LinkedIn, I mean, there's so many out there. It's really just transforming this whole profession. It's making it easier than ever to connect with new leads, to develop customers and new business builders in your own city or across the country or practically anywhere in the world. So all of these trends are coming together to make it truly the most exciting time to be in this profession. So kudos to all of you for having the vision to get in and get started. Now, with that said, there's still some challenges that come with this, as you know, and probably the most significant is that there's still a lot of misperception out there regarding network marketing and direct sales. So when you're out and about trying to share your business opportunity with people, chances are you're coming up against this. And I'm sure you're finding that many people don't really get this business. They don't really see what it can do for them. They're very quick to dismiss it as a pyramid scheme or, you know, some little home-based business hobby thing that you're doing. They don't take it very seriously. And if those people are your family and friends, I know it's even more challenging. There might be other occasions where people do say yes to you, but they truly aren't committed. And you may invest a lot of time and energy into them only to see them disappear into the WPP, the Witness Protection Program, you know, never to be seen again. And in either scenario, it's obviously very frustrating for you. And there's a bit of a myth that I'd like to dispel today, and that is that to be successful in network marketing and direct sales, all you need to do is talk to 2 people a day. That's it. Just got to talk to 2 people a day. Everything else takes care of itself. Well, I'm not sure that that's completely true, because if it were, there would be a lot more people with larger teams. Many of you are in that kind of activity, and you're still not getting the results that you want. And don't get me wrong, there is nothing wrong with talking to 2 people a day. In fact, I highly recommend every one of you be doing at least that. However, if that's all it took, there would be a lot more people making more money in this profession. And the reason that most people are struggling, it's not because of what you're doing. It's not because of the activity. It's because of what you're saying. If you are out networking, if you're picking up the phone to call people that you know, to ask them to come and have coffee with you and show them the business plan, if you're reaching out to people to ask them to host an event for you or a class or a show, if you're getting on Facebook and you're building out a network and connecting with people that way, you are doing all the right things. However, I'm pretty certain in most of those cases, it's what you're saying that isn't clicking. There's a way you're communicating that's missing the mark, and it's difficult for your prospects to really get the value of what it is that you're sharing with them. And to be honest, this isn't really your fault, because most of the traditional training out there, as good as it is, isn't covering this piece. It's been neglected along the way, and it makes a massive difference in how people respond to you. And I know for a lot of you, when people don't get your business and they don't say yes, it's really disappointing. Not just because you miss out on the chance to make a sale or recruit a new business partner. If you're like many of the people I've worked with, it's incredibly frustrating because you know you're missing out on a chance to make a real difference in that person's life. You know you've got something in your hands that can change people's lives. I mean, you've seen it, right? But they're not listening to you. And I know how heartbreaking that is when you truly are coming from a place of service and want to make a real difference for people. And I want you to know, I totally get it. You know, years ago when I worked with Tony, yes, this is an old picture, by the way. I did have red hair at one point. Don't laugh. It's very dated now that I look at it. I'm not sure what year that was. But anyway, this is a picture of me on the road with Tony years ago. And you know, without getting into the whole history, I'd gone through Tony's programs and they had transformed my life without a doubt. And many of my friends and family had gone through Tony's seminars and had, you know, had the same experience. So I was a big fan, to be honest, of his work. And when I worked with Tony, I had the opportunity to travel throughout North America and work with Fortune 500 companies in pretty much every major city. And my role was to go into these companies and inspire the managers or the decision makers to have me come in and do training for their sales reps or their executive team. And as someone who had had my life so transformed by Tony's work, I was a pretty big advocate, to say the least. And I would walk into these gentlemen's office or the women's office, if it was the case, and sit down and talk to them. And what's that saying? Show up and throw up. That's pretty much how I looked. I was so excited and so enthusiastic about what we could do for their organization that, my enthusiasm was definitely there. However, my communication skills weren't all that great. And it was obvious to me sometimes they didn't really get what I was talking about. They weren't really seeing the same picture that I was. So, in an effort to address that, I would just get more excited, and get more enthusiastic, hoping somehow through that process they would totally get it. Instead, this is generally the look I got back. Complete deer in the headlights. Most people had no clue truly what I was trying to say. And it was really frustrating for me because just like you, I knew every time I left an office like that and didn't get a positive response, I was really missing out on a chance to make a difference. I mean, I was missing out on the sale too, which was obviously frustrating, but more for me was the fact that I knew I could help people and it just wasn't happening. And one day, thankfully, I just hit the wall. I decided, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm going to do whatever it takes to master some skill that's going to make this work for me. And I got exposed to something called the magic words. And, it's kind of a cutesy name, I guess, but this style of communication truly does work like magic. It's like night and day in terms of how people respond to you. And for me, as I started practicing and using this approach, it made an instant difference in my business. Like many of you will call people and ask them to host a class or a workshop for you. Well, I was doing workshops within companies. And at the time, I was lucky to get 2 or maybe 3 of those booked a week. And that may sound like a lot to some of you, but remember, I was doing this full time. This was my full-time job. And I was lucky if I could convince 2 or 3 people a week to have me come in and do a training. As soon as I started using this magic words approach, though, that all changed. Suddenly I was booking 10 a week easily. My results went up 300%. And when I went and did these classes, these workshops, just like you have a chance to sell your products, I had the opportunity to promote Tony's programs. And without really changing anything, without expanding my workshop or changing anything up, I just started using magic words more skillfully. Suddenly I was making 35% more sales. It was like this instant boost in my income. It was awesome. And like many of you are trying to recruit new people into your team, I often had the chance to bring on people who wanted to do what I did into my team. And I remember talking to like 8 or 10 people, and I was lucky if I had one person say yes. Suddenly, I was recruiting 2 out of 3 people that I talked to. Massive difference in how people responded. So what if you could do the same? I just share this as a possibility. What if you could suddenly book up your calendar solid with workshops very easily? What if in every one of those classes or shows or workshops, your sales jumped 30% without you really doing anything different, just using some new language skills? And what if when you sat down and talked to people, you could recruit 2 out of 3 people into your business? How cool would that be? And how much of a difference would that make in your business, do you think, even in 3 months? Well, I can tell you it makes a massive difference. And I know this because I've had the amazing opportunity to share this approach with thousands of people now in network marketing and direct sales. And I see instantly they feel more confident and inspired. They're talking to more people because they're getting better results. And we've recorded and tracked this, and I've seen on average a boost in people's sales and business growth anywhere from 25 to 60% within a few weeks. And on average, people recruiting 2 to 6 new business builders a month. Some of these are people who had never recruited anybody. And suddenly they're recruiting 3 and 4 people a month consistently. That's what can happen from using this skill set. Here's some very quick examples. Here's Cassandra Brubaker, lovely lady from Canada. She's just amazing. And she was fairly new into her business. She learned this magic words approach. Suddenly she had 50% more bookings on her calendar. Her sales grew 40%. She recruited 2 new leaders within the first month. And because of that, she promoted to the next level of her business. And she told me this was the missing piece. She said, I had everything else, and this was the thing that just made it all come together. Yvonne Stanton, lovely gal from Australia, and she told me when she learned this, it just gave her a huge boost in her confidence. Her sales went up 30%. She recruited 6 new leaders in the first month of learning this approach. Another great example, Sylvia Walker, gal from Toronto, Canada. She told me what she loved is when she learned this, it gave her the confidence to know what to say in any situation. And it obviously made a difference for her too, because her sales went up something like 60% within the first month, and she promoted to the next level as well. So I just share these as quick examples to show you what's possible and truly to inspire you, not just to listen today, but to take these ideas and test them out for yourself. I am confident if you use this and practice it, you will go from feeling frustrated to seeing steady and sometimes very significant growth in your business. And this works whether you're brand new, you're just starting out, or you're a very established seven-figure earner. These are very simple ideas that will make what you're doing highly effective. So very quickly, the goals I have for today, we have a lot to get through, but there's 3 very common mistakes I've seen people make time and again. And I want to share those with you because as I do, I think you're going to recognize where you've been getting stuck and why you've struggled with recruiting people in the past. And then there's 3 very simple new skills we're going to cover that will help address that. So be sure to have something handy, like I said, to write these down. And we're going to go through some very specific examples. I want to be sure you don't just get this in theory, but you have some very specific language examples that you can test out right after the webinar. I know if you do, you'll feel a lot more inspired and confident too. And we've got about 75 minutes, so it's not a lot of time, but I promise I'll give you everything I can in this session. And generally what happens, some of you, this will be enough. You'll wander away, you'll go test this out, and it'll be fine. For a lot of you, I think you're going to find you want to take this further. And if you do, there's a couple of resources I can point you to. One is there's a very detailed coaching program. If you want to do a deep dive into this training and really master it, there's a really cool program that we've got set up. And I put together a special offer just for those of you watching this webinar. You can't get this anywhere else. And to be honest, I'm generally a little modest about these things, but this is really cool. It's one of the coolest things I've put together. I am so excited to share it with you. And I'll do that at the very, very end. So, if you want to find out more details, I'll show you how to do that. In the meantime, I want to be sure that you get value from what we do here today and that you can use these ideas immediately after your business. And as I mentioned, there's a bonus gift too that I'm going to give all of you. If you stick around to the end, I'll give you the website, and there's a really cool tool that I can give to you that will help you take what you learned today and apply it in some very, very specific ways in your business so that you can have an immediate breakthrough. Okay, so let's jump in. Enough of that. Let's dive deeper into the magic words to selling and sponsoring. So let's look at the most common mistake we all make. This is mistake number 1. When you're trying to sell and sponsor people, chances are you're talking about the products and the business opportunity. And you're probably asking yourself, well, isn't that what we're supposed to do, Sonia? I'm supposed to talk about the products and the business opportunity. And yes, that's true. However, what happens is we tend to share a lot of detail about the products in the business. When you've got products like yours that are so amazing, it's very easy to talk about the product and the ingredients in the product and how it's formulated and how you want to use the product. When you have a business opportunity like yours, it's very easy to get caught up talking about the company and how long it's been around, who's involved in the company, who the field leaders are, how the comp plan works. It's very natural to try to dazzle people with details. And oftentimes, although that information is very important, what happens is if we dump all of these details on someone's head, they actually start to check out. Because in their mind, they're going, well, so what? What does that mean to me? They're not connecting up anything in what you're sharing as having value for them personally. So what we want to do in terms of communication is just make a small shift. And instead of talking about the products and the business, we want to talk about what the products and the business can do for people. That's shifting from spelling out all the details and the information and trying to get people excited that way to just being really clear about the benefits or the results that someone can experience by using your product or taking part in your business. And to be effective at this, ideally, you want to spend 80% of your time talking about benefits or results or experiences, maybe 20% of your time talking about the details and the information. I bet for many of you that's reversed. You're probably spending a lot more time sharing details and not enough time sharing the benefits, and that's why people aren't seeing the value. So what does that sound like? Well, instead of getting caught up sharing a lot of information, my product has all these ingredients in it, and here's how it works, and here's all the science, and let me tell you why it's so cool, yada, yada. Just be really clear. My product can help you have younger looking skin. It's a very clear benefit most people want. My product can help you lose weight and look great. Well, who doesn't want that? Very clear, right? My product can help you have more energy. if you have a wellness product. My product can help you sleep better at night. When we speak in this way, it's just really easy for other people to see, oh, that's what's in it for me. Same is true for the business. Instead of my business is great because of the comp plan and the company, and let me tell you all about it, yada, yada. Let's just be really clear. My business can help you save money on your taxes. Most people have no clue how much money they can save on taxes every year just by having a home-based business. That is a really cool benefit. And helping them see that is very compelling. My business can help you make money while you sleep. Well, who doesn't want that? My business can help you not have to worry about being laid off at work. Or my business can help you retire early or spend more time with the kids. These, again, are very simple, but it helps your prospect instantly connect to what's in it for them. So here's the first formula I'd like to ask you to write down. This is on your worksheet. Very, very simple. We're doing this kindergarten simple to start. But please jot this down. My products can help you blank. Get this benefit or get this kind of result. My products can help you blank. My products can help you lose weight. My products can help you look 10 years younger. My products can help you look stylish on any budget. My products can help you decorate your home so that you love opening the door and walking in. My products can help you connect with your clients in a way that generates more business, whatever makes sense for your particular product. My business can help you make money while you sleep. My business can help you quit your job and spend more time with your kids. My business can help you be there for your children during those early years when they need you the most. My business can help you retire in a way that gives you a sense of security and the freedom to travel the world and spend the last chapter of your life doing what you love. These are just all off the cuff, obviously, but you get the sense. All we want to do is help them connect. This is what this product can do for you. This is what this business can do for you. I've heard it described as selling the destination, not the airplane. And when I heard that, it just clicked for me, because think about it. When you go online to book travel, what are we thinking about? We're thinking about the destination. You're probably not concerned about what model of aircraft you're flying on. I'm certainly not. When I get online and I'm thinking about going to Europe or going back to Canada or going to Hawaii, I'm thinking about the destination, and I'm just trying to find the quickest, easiest, most affordable way to get there. I don't really care about the plane or how many seats it's got or what the upholstery looks like. As long as it's safe, I just want to get to the destination. And the same is true for your prospects. Yes, the science is interesting, and yes, the ingredients are interesting, and yes, they want to know the details of the comp plan, but that all comes later. What they need to know first and foremost is, what is your product going to do for me? What's the benefit that I'm going to get by using your product? Or what's your business going to do for me? What's the end result or the experience that I'm going to get to have by being part of your team that will make this worth my time? And you're probably thinking, my goodness, that sounds so simple. Like, does it really make that much of a difference? And I'm about to share with you just a quick example of how much of a difference this can make and how quickly. Let me share a case study. This is an amazing woman I've had the chance to work with, Sarah Marble. She is just lovely. She's based in New Orleans, Louisiana. And before getting into network marketing, Sarah was a nurse, and she had 3 young boys at home. And she had absolutely no interest in network marketing whatsoever. However, she had put on some weight during her pregnancy and was using a product that helped her drop that really quickly and really effectively. She lost 92 pounds apparently, and so she really started loving this product and was sharing it and recommending it to other people, and suddenly realized, I should be doing this business. So she started into her company, and when we first got connected, don't get me wrong, she was doing pretty well. She was already at the middle level of her company. However, she confided she hadn't really recruited many new people into her team in a few months. So she came to me wanting to learn this magic words approach. And when she did, all she did was start practicing and using this in really simple ways. And one of the places she did that was on Facebook. Sarah uses Facebook a lot to find new prospects and to talk a little bit about her products and her business. And in lesson 5 of the Magic Words program, the coaching program I mentioned, I showed her how to use this on Facebook in a way that was really effective. And really, all we did was, rather than talk about the product or the business, we talked about what the business could do for people. And as she posted up this phrase, and I'm sorry I don't have the exact phrase, but it was something along the lines of, if you'd love to be home with your kids and not have to deal with a long, crazy commute every day, message me because I can show you a way to do that very quickly. That's probably not doing it justice, to be honest, but it was something along those lines. It was just a very clear statement about the benefits of the business. And she called me just after. She goes, I just posted this up 3 minutes ago, and I already got a response. Someone had contacted her back. She had ended up putting a phone call together and recruited that person and got a great new business builder just from that one post. She also used this in her opportunity meetings. She was leading several meetings a month, gathering up her team and new prospects, and they would all get together to talk about the products in the business. And in lesson 6 of the program, I showed her how to use these exact phrases in a group meeting. And she shared it made an enormous difference in the dynamic in the room, in how people felt about what they were offering and the end results. She said, we were sharing so much information. We were giving so many details about the products, going into all the science and all the different ways you could use the products. And she said, all we did was shift to talking more about the benefits. And we had people share their success stories, and we just constantly reinforced the benefits that people experienced by using the product. And when it came to the business opportunity, same thing. Instead of getting into all kinds of details about the company and the comp plan, they shared the basics of that, but they spent a lot more time talking about the benefits of the business. And people, again, shared their success stories and how much the business had changed their lives. And they had all these incredible results to point to. And she said what she really noticed is it changed how people experienced the meeting. She said we had people passing Kleenex around, there was tears, there was all kinds of excitement, and it showed up in her results because the next meeting they held, they had over 40 people show up. The team went home and got a bunch of new prospects because they could see what was happening, and they generated more sales and business partners instantly just by making this simple little change in how they were leading an opportunity meeting. And ultimately, when I checked back in with her, this is how it changed her business. She said in 1 month, she recruited 4 new business partners after learning this approach. Within 6 months, I checked back and she had doubled her sales volume. Her entire org volume doubled. She was recruiting on average 5 new leaders a month and promoted to the top level of her company. So I share this again just to help you appreciate how powerful this communication can be. And the big takeaway, there's a place there on your worksheet to write this down, so please do. The big takeaway from this session is remember to talk about what your products and your business can do for people. As much as you can, stress the benefits, stress the experience people get to have, stress the results. Share whatever detail you have to, but keep that to a minimum. If you don't do this, I know for sure you are going to miss out on all kinds of sales. You're going to have, potential business partner sitting right next to you, and they're just not going to get it because they're not connecting the dots. If you can become more skilled at stressing the benefits and helping them see really quickly, here's what's in it for you, changes everything. I have no doubt your business will grow and you'll see more income just by making this one little shift. And if you want to become really skilled at this, I will show you exactly how to do this in the Magic Words program that I mentioned. Very simple process, but as you go through this, you'll be able to identify the exact benefits that you want to emphasize about your particular products so that people get excited to buy them. And we'll do this for your business opportunity too. I'll show you the exact kinds of benefits that you're going to want to stress to your different prospects so that they see the value of your opportunity enough to get excited and actually join you in the business. And this works no matter what kind of company you're with. I've worked with all the different organizations. So whether you sell weight loss products or skincare or wellness products, jewelry, clothing, home decor, candles, paper, coffee, business communication tools. I think, at this point we've probably had everybody in the program. The process itself works for any of those things. And I want you to learn how to do this skill because then you can use it in any situation, and you can also turn around and teach it to your team. In addition to that, for those of you that take part in the program, I've actually done a lot of the work for you because as I've taught this class over the years, I've compiled a really cool list of very specific examples, different benefits that relate to different products, different benefits that relate to the business opportunities. So you end up with kind of a cheat sheet of very specific, already done for you phrases that you can take and actually go use in your business right away. You get the best of both worlds. And you'll be able to use these in all different ways, whether you want to book more shows or parties, if you want to get one-to-one meetings with people, if you want to make more sales at any of the events that you're hosting, if you want to use it in a group opportunity meeting like Sarah did, or on Facebook or on business cards. There's all these different places you can practice and use these ideas. But it does come back to becoming really skilled at stressing benefits in every one of those areas. Okay, so let's move on to common mistake number 2. And I would describe this as using benefits that are a little too boring. So what do I mean by that? Well, I bet you'd agree we are bombarded every single day with hundreds of ads and marketing messages. You can't turn on your television without having to watch dozens of ads, even in one single program. Drive your car down the street, we're surrounded by billboards and marketing signs of all kinds. And even when we're on Facebook, there's often ads running in the right-hand column of your web page, or sometimes showing up right in the middle of your news feed. And besides being slightly irritating, what's challenging about this is that a lot of these messages start to sound the same. Think about it. How often in a day do you hear someone say something like, "This is the way to lose weight," or "This is the way, the real keys to looking younger. This is the path to having more energy." And although those messages are effective because at least they're focusing on benefits, they do start to blend in, and we start to tune them out. We hear the same thing all day long and we stop paying attention. So if you want to have true influence with your prospects and grab their attention in a way that really gets them noticing your product and your business opportunity, we need to fire it up. We have to add a little bit of sizzle to the message so that it resonates more deeply with people. And the best way to do that is to focus on feelings. And the reason that this is important is, as much as we buy products for the results that they can provide, generally what we're really after is a feeling. Think about it. If someone buys a weight loss product, definitely they want to lose weight and get in shape. But ultimately what is motivating them is how they get to feel when they're in shape. They feel more attractive, or they feel more confident. They have a higher degree of self-esteem. Same is true for anti-aging products. People would purchase those in order to have younger looking skin. And really, what does that give them? It's this feeling of being attractive or sexy or youthful. So if we want to grab people's attention and present the products and the business in a way that will deeply resonate with them and help them really appreciate the value that's there, we want to be sure to talk about feelings. We want to be sure to communicate very clearly, here's how this product can make you feel. Here's how this business opportunity can make you feel. When we include that type of messaging in your communication, everything changes. And so what would that sound like? Well, here's some very simple examples. These are really basic, but you'll get the gist. My product can help you lose weight. If you were talking to a prospect, you had a weight loss product, that could be a very basic statement that you might communicate, and that gets across the benefit of what your product can do. But let's take it a step further. What if we added some emotion? My product can help you lose weight so you'll feel totally confident and sexy in your bikini this summer. It's a lot more interesting, and it better portrays what your product can really give people. It's not just the fact they get to lose weight, it's that they get to feel confident and sexy, and that's what everybody wants. Another quick example, my product can help you have younger looking skin. Well, that's a nice benefit. However, what's really behind that benefit? What do people really want to experience? What if you were to say, my product can help you have younger looking skin so you feel gorgeous and youthful at any age? A lot more exciting, a lot more enticing. And what we're doing here using feeling words is we're starting to paint a picture of the experience that people want. They don't want to just have younger looking skin, they want to feel sexy and attractive. This works with your business too. You could be talking to a prospect and sharing your business plan and say, hey, you know, this business can help you make more money. That's a very straightforward benefit you'd want to emphasize. And it definitely makes sense. However, money means different things to different people. So what if we jazzed this up a little bit, used a little more descriptive language? And if we were talking to a couple like this that could be getting ready to retire and they're thinking about their future. You could show your business and help them appreciate that this business can help you make money so that you feel more secure, that you're going to have enough in the bank to be able to retire comfortably. Now it's got a lot more emotion. Now it's a picture or an experience that grabs people's attention because that's ultimately what they want. They don't want to just have more money. They want to feel a greater sense of security. Another quick example, if you were talking to a working mom, let's say, you could help her appreciate that my business can help you be home with your kids. Very straightforward, basic benefit. But let's expand on it. Let's make it more emotional. My business can help you be home with your kids so you never have to feel guilty for not being there when they need you the most. Now, if you said that to a working mom who's had to put her kids in daycare every day as she's gone off to work, that's going to get her attention because she feels that guilt. She feels terrible. And if you can show her how your business can help alleviate that, it's going to look a lot more attractive to her. It's going to get her attention in a whole new way. So here's the formula. Grab your worksheets. Let's write this down. It's basically just taking what we started previously and adding a little bit to it. So my products or business can help you blank, can help you get this benefit so you can blank. You can get this bigger benefit or this feeling. My business can help you quit your job so you can spend more time with your family and do work that you really enjoy. My business can help you sock money away for retirement so that you never have to stay up at night worrying that you're going to run out of money and be a burden to your family. My products can help you lose weight so you feel amazing when you look in the mirror. My products can help you create a really stylish looking wardrobe, even if you have a limited budget, so that when you walk in a room and turn heads, you feel fantastic. I'm just making these up, obviously, but you get the gist. My products or business can help you blank so you can blank, so you can get this bigger benefit or this juicy feeling, this attractive emotion that is likely going to be really appealing to people. And again, this is probably sounding really simple to you, and you may be asking, does it really make that much of a difference? It absolutely does. Let me share with you really quickly another case study. This gal, Lauren Goldstein, she's just a firecracker. I love her. She's from Dallas, Texas, and previously to starting her business, she had a really interesting job. She had 3 jobs, actually, in the medical field. She was a researcher with a specialty in pediatrics. And although she loved what she did, she realized pretty early on that what she was doing was not going to give her the lifestyle that she wanted. She was working 3 different jobs, very long hours, not really making the money she'd hoped to be. And she got introduced to a network marketing company and saw the potential and decided to get started. But she confided in me, for the longest time, I really had one foot in, one foot out. I just wasn't sure if this was really going to work for me. And she told me when we first met that she would go out to networking events and she said, you know what, I literally scare people. I know it. I'm so excited about my business and my products. I'm overly enthusiastic, and I can tell when I'm talking to people, I'm overwhelming them, and they often make excuses like they have to make a phone call or hit the restroom. And I just know I'm not being very effective in my communication. And when she went through the Magic Words program, one of the things she learned and worked with that was highly effective for her was how to use magic words on a business card, because she was doing a lot of networking and meeting a lot of people. And in that lesson, I walk you through how to create phrases that have both benefits in them and also emotion, feelings. So she created this amazing phrase, and I don't remember it off the cuff, I'm sorry, but it was something along the lines of, you know, my business can help you escape the rat race, make amazing money, and live the kind of lifestyle you'd always dreamed of. Something to that effect. I'm probably not doing it justice. But anyway, whatever phrase she had on the back of her business card was so compelling that she told me when she was out networking with people, they started asking her about the business. And she was doing a lot of traveling during that time. And she said she'd get on the airplane and start chatting people up. And sure enough, before you know it, someone says, well, what do you do? And, you know, you have a chance to talk a little bit about your business. And she became really skilled at including emotion in her messaging. So she would describe her business opportunity and she would focus on the benefits. And then she would also help the person appreciate how they would feel by having those kinds of benefits. And she said it was amazing how people would respond. And for her, I think the biggest shift was it just felt so much more authentic. Rather than having to be in a sales mode or do a real, you know, canned presentation, try and sound impressive, she was just able to be really authentic and heartfelt, but also highly effective in her communication. And here's what happened. I mean, I was blown away. In the first month, she recruited 4 new leaders using this approach. Within 6 months, I checked back with her. She was averaging 2 recruits a month. She had recruited a total of 13 new leaders direct to her. She had doubled her sales volume and promoted 2 levels in her company. And it was all from using this approach. It was unbelievable to me. She really worked it and did an incredible job. So again, that's just an example to share with you of how just a slight change in your communication makes all the difference in people really getting the value of what you're sharing. And when you're sharing your products and your business, you definitely want to show the benefits. You want to be sure to focus on and talk about the benefits and how your product can make a difference for people, how your business can make a difference for people. But if you want to truly get people's attention, you definitely want to include feelings. So on your worksheet there should be a place to make a note. Big takeaway number 2, remember to include feelings. Talk about how people get to feel when they use your products. Talk about how they get to feel when they build a successful team. When we do that, we're speaking to this part of the brain that actually makes decisions. It's amazing. There's an incredible TED Talk. I'll just mention this quick. Simon Sinek, I don't know if you know him. His last name is spelled S-I-N-E-K, Simon Sinek. And he's got a TED Talk titled Start With Why. He has a book by the same title. If you go on Google and just do a search, Simon Sinek, Start With Why. His TED Talk is one of the best I've ever seen. And he talks about how the brain works and how there's this part of the brain in your subconscious that processes emotion. And it actually just happens to be the part of the brain that also makes decisions. And I've known this for years, but when I saw this talk, I really appreciated it because he was so effective at showing people how, if you want to have influence, we got to talk to people's emotions. We have to include that in our communication, or we're just not reaching that part that is going to be motivated to make a decision. So I share that with you as an extra bonus, but the big takeaway here is we've got to get emotional. And if you don't do this, people are going to tune you out. People are not going to pay attention to your messages. They're likely going to dismiss you really quickly. And just by making these simple changes, you'll see people really start to get it. They don't just have a sense of the benefits of what you can do with your products and your business. They really start to feel on a deep level how this can change their lives. And ultimately, that just means more sales and more business partners for you. And if you want help with this, in the Magic Words program that I mentioned, we spend quite a bit of time on this lesson because it is so important to your bottom line. And I'll walk you through this process where you can identify the specific feelings that people want and then design messages that will work for your products and your very specific kind of business opportunity. And like I mentioned before, I want you to learn the skills. So I teach you how to do this so you can figure it out on your own. And then because I've done this with so many clients over the years, we have a pretty lengthy list of examples that I've already created for you, which you can just take and go and test out if you want to. So you can always use the cheat sheets if you want to get started and get going right away. But ultimately, I also want you to have the skills so you can turn around and teach that to your team. You can use this at networking events, when you're out talking to people. Use this kind of communication to get a coffee date set up. You can use it on business cards like Lauren did, or on Facebook. When you're doing business online especially, using this kind of languaging makes all the difference in people paying attention and actually messaging you back. It's really powerful. Okay, well, we've gone through quite a bit so far in the webinar. We've got more to cover, but before we go further, let me just hit the pause button for a moment. And I'd love to hear from you. How are these ideas sitting so far? Do they make sense? Have I lost anybody? Do you see the value of using benefits when talking about your products and business opportunity? Do you see the value of including feelings in those messages as well? Go ahead and enter your comments, if you would, in that chat box on the screen. It should just take a moment. I should be able to see them on my side here. But yeah, I'd love to know before we go any further just how these ideas are sitting with you so far. I want to be sure we're all on the same page and this is making sense for everybody. So let's see, we've got comments here from Vicky from Nashville. I appreciate you sharing so many specifics. This is real value. You are so welcome, Vicky. I'm glad you're taking notes. That's great. We've got Lisa from Brandon. Lisa says, love it so far. Such an important skill to know these words. I totally agree, Lisa, and I'm glad you do too. We have Kimberly from Huntsville. This is really valuable. Thank you, Sonia. You're so welcome. We've got Hazel from Glasgow. Lovely. I am finding this very helpful and interesting. So many of your comments I can identify with. I get it. You're not alone, Hazel, I'm sure. Super. Linda, San Antonio, the biz card idea is great. I agree. Go test it out, Linda. Let me know how it works for you. We have another Linda from, looks like Victoria. These ideas make total sense. I can see how it should make a difference in my business. I'm glad to know that. Excellent. Let's see, a couple more. Natalie from London, thank you so much. I'm attending a networking event on Friday morning, so I will definitely use these ideas. That's great, Natalie. Let me know how it works. Let's see, Julie from Los Angeles can really see the value in relating to how people feel. Oh, I'm so glad to hear that, Julie. That's awesome. That really is the secret sauce, to be honest, so I'm glad you guys already see the value of that. Okay, Renee from Charlotte, really good information. This makes sense. That's great. Kathy from Sydney, totally makes sense. I'm going to start using this immediately. Great. Okay, so overall, sounds like it's making sense. Erin, this is cute. Erin, these are great. Hand cramping up from taking all the notes. Good. I'm glad you're taking notes, Erin. All right. Well, thanks for your feedback. I just wanted to make sure we're all on the same page and that I haven't lost anyone. And yeah, I'm glad you already see the value in this, because as you start using it in your business and seeing a difference in how people respond, I know you're going to absolutely believe in how effective this approach can be. All right, so we're about 2/3 of the way through the webinar at this point. There's still quite a bit left to cover. However, let me just take a quick moment to share with you a few details about that special opportunity that I mentioned, because this is something that isn't available anywhere else. It's unique and available only to those of you that are taking part in this webinar. It's just kind of a special bonus that I wanted to put together for you. But don't go away, because there's still one really important skill left to cover. It's the most important thing you'll learn today. And I have that very cool bonus gift too. So hang in here for just a few more minutes. And if you love this approach, if you see value in these skills already and you want to take it deeper, here's how you can do that. Here's the plan. If you take what you've learned today and you go use it in your business, I'm pretty certain you'll experience some kind of a breakthrough. I get emails from people all the time saying, hey, I used that idea from the webinar and someone said yes to me, or I sold some more product, or I even recruited a new leader. However, if you want to really master these skills, you have the opportunity to do that. And I am very confident if you take part in the Magic Words coaching program that you can see more sales and even new business partners within weeks of starting this program. And I only say that because I've seen it happen time and time again for the people who've taken part. And how it works, I put it together in this pretty unique format. It's a self-study coaching program. And what you've learned today is really just scratching the surface of this Magic Words approach. As you go through the program, you'll learn all of this in a lot more detail. And more specifically, I'll show you how to use these messages in all these different areas of your business. So for example, you'll learn exactly what to say when you're at a networking event so that someone feels inspired, they give you a business card, and you can actually set up a coffee date right there on the spot. I'll share with you how to use Magic Words so that if you pick up the phone to call someone and you ask them to host a class or a show or a workshop for you, you hear yes. And you can get your calendar booked solid with really great meetings. I'll show you how to use Magic Words in group presentations or opportunity meetings so that you can create more sales out of that meeting and even inspire people to join your team at the end of it. And I'll show you also how to use Magic Words in written form. So if you want to put this on a business card or in a flyer or in an email, anywhere you're using words, if you use Magic Words phrases, you'll see that people pay more attention and they actually respond more too. And this is especially important online. If you are on Facebook or Twitter or LinkedIn, any of those sites, knowing what to say, knowing how to create these messages that get people's attention and gets them to actually respond to you is critical. And that's exactly what I'll show you how to do in the program. And how this works, I won't go into a ton of detail because you can go read about this on the website, but basically how it works, everything is recorded. And there's over 8 hours of video that you'll walk through. It's very simple, step-by-step lessons, very simple to learn, very simple to apply. In addition to that, there's audios of every single lesson. You can download these and put them on your iPod or on your MP3 player, take them to the gym, take them in your car. We just wanted to make it really easy for you to have another version of this that you could listen to as well. And then there's a workbook that I put together, and I'm very proud of this. It's over 100 pages. It's very detailed. And it basically spells out the entire program, all these additional notes, all these exercises that you can go through that take you through step by step how to say magic words in this place in your business, how to use it for this kind of product, how to use it for this kind of prospect. And as I mentioned before, not only do you learn these skills, but we've done a lot of the work for you. I've included in this workbook all kinds of examples of how to use magic words to sell pretty much every kind of product on the planet, as well as how to use these in recruiting conversations for pretty much any kind of prospect. And then there's some bonus material I included too. This is really cool. I don't know if you remember, about, I think it was 18 months ago, I put together a very special live cast event. This was a lot of fun. I brought in some clients of mine to take part in this program. And we got into a recording studio, a TV studio here in San Diego. And I broadcast this event live over the internet. And for 8 hours, I had the opportunity to interview various people on how they've used magic words in their business. And they shared all kinds of specifics. It was really interesting. They talked about how they use them on business cards, the exact phrases that they've used, what they said when they met someone in line at a coffee shop. They talked about how they use magic words on Facebook to get an instant response, how to use them at networking events so that people said, hey, how can I find out more about your business? It was a really interesting crash course in the very specific ways that people are using these messages in this language. And so I had all of that on video, and I thought it would be great to include that in the program too. So that is bonus material, but there's another 8 hours of that material you can look at if you choose to, that will just help you, in terms of really specific ways to apply these ideas in your business. And then there's some coaching calls too that I've led around this program, about 17 hours worth of coaching calls. Again, you don't have to do this, it's all bonus material, but I wanted to include it because in those calls, I have distributors from every major company, and we talk about in detail, we brainstorm how to use magic words to sell all these different kinds of products. So if you sell makeup or skincare or beauty products, weight loss, wellness products, if you sell clothing, jewelry, organizing products, coffee, paper, candles, home decor, business communication tools. I mean, I think at this point we've covered just about everything possible. But in the calls, I brainstorm with everyone on how to use magic words for every one of those products so that you can hear examples and take those away and actually use them in your business. And then in addition to that, we talked about all the different kinds of prospects that you'll connect with. So we talk about, here's exactly what you should say to a baby boomer if you want to recruit them into your team. Here's exactly what you want to say to a stay-at-home mom or a working mom. If you want to recruit college kids, here's the magic words you'd want to use for that kind of person. Here's the magic words you'd want to use for a teacher or a nurse or a real estate agent or a mortgage broker or a pharmaceutical rep. Again, I think we've covered every possible prospect that you will ever meet and have the opportunity to share your business with. But I wanted to include all of this material because as you listen to it, again, it'll just take your skills to a new level. And if you ever have a question on anything you learn in the program, it'll definitely be answered in those calls. It covers every possible scenario. So overall, it's about 33 hours worth of training. And as I mentioned, we set it up in this way. It's a digital product. And the reason that I did that is you can do it completely at your own pace. You can do it on any schedule you like. You don't have to come to any particular call. You just sign into the website and you get instant access to the program. And you can start right now. If you're really hungry and you want to jump in today, you guys can be doing this stuff and getting better results in the next week. I have no doubt about that. So you might have a couple of questions that you want to get answered before you decide to jump in and take part in this program. I totally appreciate that. And you may be sitting there thinking, okay, Sonia, this sounds pretty good, but I'm already plugged into calls with my upline leaders and my company. Do I really need to do another training program? And frankly, I think that's a really important question for you to get answered before you decide to take part in this. And obviously you have to answer that question for yourself. However, I can tell you that when I talk to my students, the people that have gone through this program, I'm often giving them surveys and asking for feedback. And I've asked them to share with me what are the main benefits or experiences you're having by taking part in this Magic Words program. And of all the feedback I've received in the last few years, there are 5 themes, 5 common benefits I hear them share time and again. I hear people tell me all the time, I immediately feel more comfortable talking to people. I'm approaching more people and I feel like I know exactly what to say now to inspire them to take a serious look at my business. So if you were to take part in this program, I have no doubt that would happen for you too. I hear my students tell me that they're booking up their calendar, they're getting all kinds of meetings booked, and that they're experiencing fewer cancellations because the people that are saying yes are really excited and committed. I hear them tell me that they're creating more sales at all of their meetings. Their sales volume is going up every month, 10, 20, 30%. They're not really working any harder, but because they're so skilled now at showing people the value of the products, that more people are buying. So again, if you were to take part, I'm pretty certain that would happen for you as well. And I love hearing that people are recruiting new leaders. I have students tell me, I have never recruited anybody. And after using these skills, I'm consistently recruiting people every month. And sometimes even skeptics, the friends and family who previously wouldn't look at this very seriously, are now actually pretty open-minded. So that's another huge benefit that you would experience if you took part in this. And the one I love hearing the most is that people who go through this program feel that they are now very effective coaches to the people on their team. They're not just getting great results in their own business, but they now have the insight and the skills to turn around and help the people in their downline start duplicating their results. So if you are already experiencing all these things in your business, then frankly, you probably don't need to do this program. But if you're not, I am very certain that by taking part in this self-study coaching program, you would experience all of this and more. Now, another question you might be asking yourself is, can I afford to do this? And just so you know, this entire Magic Words program, all 33 hours of training, which includes all the videos, all the audios, that huge workbook that I put together, all those bonus materials, you can get instant access to all of that for a one-time investment of just $497. And I know for most of you that's not a big deal. For some of you that might be a little bit more of a stretch. So as you're making a decision about that, I'd encourage you to think about this. I remember years ago, I was thinking about investing in a program like this. I knew it was going to make a huge difference in my bottom line, but I was just a little bit worried about spending the money. And a very wise mentor said to me, he said, Sonia, don't just consider the cost of this, consider what it's worth to you. So I would like to ask you that same question from a complete place of integrity. If you were to master these skills, what would that be worth to you? If you were to book up your calendar full of some really strong meetings, and at every one of those events you were producing more sales and even recruiting new leaders, how much could your business and your income grow in the next 3 months? What if you kept that momentum up? How much would that grow over the next 6 months or a year? And I can't promise that that's going to happen, but I can tell you that I see this all the time. People who go through the program, we track their numbers. And consistently, I see on average, people experience anywhere from a 25 to a 60% jump in their sales and business growth, and that they're recruiting 2 to 6 new leaders a month just after starting this program. So if that happened for you, what would that be worth to you to get your business going that strong? And ultimately, I know for a lot of you, it's not just about the numbers and the sales volume. There's a bigger reason that you're doing this business. So how would it feel if you saw the kind of growth in your business that gave you the confidence that you were going to be able to experience those things, whether it's sending your kids to the best schools, or being able to quit that job that you hate, or being able to wake up in the morning? How would it feel to just be able to spend your day doing what you love, take those trips with your family, and just truly live that ideal lifestyle that you want and you deserve? What would that be worth to you? And I think for a lot of you, that's worth a lot. It's certainly worth this investment. And I can tell you from a place of absolute confidence, if you learn and master these skills, there's very little you can't create in your business as a result. And to make this just a no-brainer decision, I want to offer this guarantee. I do this with most of my programs, and I want to offer it to you too. If you decide you want to take part in this, give this a shot, you have 30 days. You get access to the videos, the audios, the workbook. You can jump in, you can start using these skills and trying them out in your business, and there will be only one of two things that happen. The first is you're going to start seeing results, and you're going to feel really excited and likely see that investment come back in your bottom line very quickly. If that doesn't happen, if for some reason you don't absolutely love this program, or you don't feel confident it's going to make a big difference, just ask us for a full refund. Let us know within the 30 days and we'll be happy to issue that. And I offer this guarantee because I want you to feel confident that you can take part in this and experience those kinds of results with the least amount of risk. So just know, if you decide to take part, you're completely protected with that 30-day guarantee. Now, I promised I would do something special for those of you here on the webinar, and here it is. If you go to my main website and you purchase this program there, you'll see it listed for the full price of $497. However, to thank you for taking time out to be part of this session, I have a special discounted rate that's only available here. You can't find this anywhere else. And for any of you that want to take part in the program, you can do so for one payment of $367, so that saves you $130 off the cost of the program. Or if you want to set up a payment plan, you can do that. If it's a little easier for you to budget, you can make 3 payments of just $137, and that still saves you $86 off the cost of the program. And this special rate will be available for the next 5 days. So if you need to think about this or talk to a partner or a spouse before you make the decision, that's completely fine. This will be available for 5 days. After that, it'll be gone, but you've got 5 days to make a decision and you'll still get this special rate. Now, some of you might be ready to jump into the program right now. And if that's you, I have an extra gift for you. I call it the Fast Action Bonus. So in addition to the entire Magic Words program, I'm actually going to give you access to this other program. It's called the Lead Generation Blueprint Program. And it's designed to help you find hundreds of high quality leads, really great prospects that are perfect for your products and for your business opportunity. And I'll show you how to do this live and in person. If you want to get out and network in your own local area, I'll show you all the different places and ways to do that. And some of you I know like to prospect on the internet, so I'll take you through that process as well and show you how to effectively use tools like Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitter. But basically, as you go through this program, you will learn how to find great leads for your business and build out a really nice warm market and basically never run out of people to talk to about your business. And the reason that I wanted to offer this as a bonus, it's really the perfect complement to the Magic Words program, because I found as people went through that program, they were getting great results, but they were running out of leads. And they would come to me and say, okay, what do I do now? People are saying yes, but I need to get out and find more people. So it inspired me to put this program together. And the reason it works so well with the Magic Words program is as you go through this, you will discover who the very best prospects are for you and for your particular products and business. It's probably not who you think it is. You'll learn exactly where to find them in your own local area or on the internet, and then you'll know exactly what to say to get their attention and to get across the value of your products and your business in a way that leads to more yeses. So when you put all 3 of these things together, it's really a home run. This is like the perfect trifecta of skills for anybody to have. And this program, if you were to purchase it on its own, it's $247 on my website. But if you want to jump in, if you invest in the next 48 hours, still gives you a little time to think about this, I will gift you that as my gift. And in total, that's about $744 in coaching that you'll get for $367. So it's a pretty good deal. Okay, so that's the end of my commercial. Here's the link. If you want to go check this out, jot this down. It's www.magicwordstoselling.com/offer. www.magicwordstoselling.com/offer. Just jot that down, and after the webinar, you can go check that out, see all the details, and decide what you want to do. All right, we've got one important skill left to cover, so let's move right into this. Let's look at common mistake number 3. And I describe this as using the same generic message or presentation for everybody. So what do I mean by that? Well, it's pretty common when you're sharing your products or your business with people that you would use the same kind of presentation for all of them, or the same kind of messages, or maybe you're stressing the same kinds of benefits to all the different people to whom you're speaking. And although this can be somewhat effective, you're likely missing out on opportunities to make sales and recruit people because people actually buy your products for very different reasons. And they join your team for very different reasons. So if your presentation or the way that you're sharing your products and your business is pretty much the same, it's likely not connecting in the way that it could be. And here's an example of what that would look like. Let's say you're talking to a mom and she's looking at your business and thinking about it. And what's important to her is to make money. But she wants to make money for a very specific reason. She probably wants to have more time with her kids, especially if she's a working mom. She's probably putting her kids in daycare and feeling terrible about it. And she would love the opportunity to make great money working from home so that she can spend quality time with her family. That's what's important to her. Now, a baby boomer wants to make money too, but for very different reasons. Chances are, if someone's of baby boomer age, their biggest motivation is having more money for retirement. They want to sock it away and have that sense of security. College kids want more money, but again, for very different reasons. If someone's just graduated from university, probably has a lot of student loan debt and no job and would love the opportunity to get that paid off. So this person also wants more money, but again, for a very different reason, different motivation. Real estate agents, another example, same thing. They also want money, but they're motivated by something different. They likely want to have a steady income to keep the bills paid when the real estate market is slow. So these are just examples of how different prospects are motivated by different things. And if we're using the same kind of presentation or stressing the same kinds of benefits, it's likely missing the mark. What you want to do instead is what's written here at the bottom of the slide. Please write this down. There's a place for this in your worksheet, and this truly is $1 million tip. This is the secret sauce. If there's one insight I want you to take from this program, this is it. And it's this, that the more customized your message is, the more people will respond to it. Meaning the more specific it is, the more relevant it is, the more it talks about things that are important to that particular person, the more it will resonate and the more that that person will respond. And what we ultimately want to do is think about WITT, which stands for what's important to them. So anytime you're going to be speaking to a prospect, if you're going out for a coffee date or you're picking up the phone to call somebody or you're going out to network, I encourage you, ask yourself that question. What is important to this person? Why would this particular person buy my products? What would be the result or the experience that would be important to them? Or why would this particular kind of prospect join my team? What would be the specific result or experience that would be important to them? Because when we can clue into that and speak to that, it's almost like we're speaking their language. We're speaking so directly to the things that are important to them that they will sit up and pay attention in ways that you've never seen. And here are some quick examples. Let's say you're talking to a working mom and you want to get inside her head and think about, okay, what's important to this person? Well, chances are she's dealing with some or all of these issues. If she's putting her kids in daycare every day, she's probably feeling terrible about it. You know, most moms, especially moms of young kids, feel really guilty because they're missing out on those really important years. Many gals out there working in the corporate world are dealing with all kinds of politics and stress. They're not making anywhere close to the money they should be or could be. They have very little control over their hours and hardly any time for themselves or for their families. They come home at night, they're exhausted. You know, if they can make dinner and spend 10 minutes with the kids before they get them in bed, that's probably a good night. So again, we're being generic here, but in general, if you're talking to a working mom and you want to present your business to her, chances are these are the problems that she's dealing with. This is stuff that's important to her. On the flip side, what would she want instead? Well, she probably wants more time with her family. What mom doesn't want that? She wants to have more time for herself. She would love to be independent and not have a boss. She wants to make great money, but do so in a way that gives her a lot of control over her time and her schedule. And many gals today are really motivated to do something that makes a real contribution. She probably wants to do work that has some level of meaning or that makes a real difference in the world. So if we were going to talk to someone like this and approach her and see if we can get her engaged in a conversation about the business opportunity, instead of saying something like, hey, I represent a leading skincare business that's got cutting edge ingredients and blah, 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 we've been around for 40 years, instead of making it about you or even saying something like, hey, you'd be really great at this business, either one of those approaches is fine, but it's probably not going to get her attention. What we want to do instead is talk about what's important to her and describe the business in those terms. So grab your pen. You'll want to jot this down. This is the other formula I want to be sure you leave with today. And if you're going to talk to someone about your business, rather than describe the business or give a ton of details about the business, instead talk about what the business can do for that person specifically. And here's a formula that will help. I have a business that helps blank to blank. I have a business that helps people like you or this kind of prospect to get these benefits or feelings or experiences. I have a business that helps blank to blank. And let's say, again, we're talking to a working mom. Here's a way that you could phrase it. I have a business that helps working moms to make a great income working from home so they don't have to feel guilty for not being around when their kids need them the most. So if you look at this example, you can see in here, we're telling this person, here's how my business can help you. These are the exact ways that this business can make a difference for someone like you. This business is great for working moms who want to make a great income working from home so they don't have to feel guilty for not being around when their kids need them the most. This is a very customized message. But if you said this to a working mom, there's a very high likelihood that you will get her attention. She can understand from this kind of communication how your business can help her, so she's going to pay more attention. Here's another example. Let's say you're talking to baby boomers. Same thing. I have a business that helps blank to blank. I have a business that helps this kind of person to get these kinds of results. I have a business that helps baby boomers generate extra money for retirement so they can travel, spend time with their grandkids, and not have to worry about running out of money. So again, same formula, exactly the same formula. We're just plugging in different words here, and we're using the words that we know are important to them. We're stressing the benefits that we know will make sense to this kind of prospect. I have a business that helps baby boomers generate extra income for retirement. That's important to them. So they can travel, they can spend time with their grandkids and not have to worry about running out of money. So this takes just a little bit of tweaking, but when you can customize your language in this way, it's truly like you're speaking their language. You're talking about the things that make sense to them. And therefore, your business now is a lot more meaningful to them because they can see how it could help them specifically. So again, I know this is really simple. You're probably thinking, does this really make a difference? It absolutely does. Let me share just one last case study with you. This gal, Layla Kelling, she's so sweet. I tell you, she's from Atlanta, Georgia. She had a really interesting career. She was kind of living high in New York. She was a former fashion designer, and her husband got transferred to Atlanta. So she had to relocate, and she basically gave up her job as a fashion designer and wasn't finding anything that was on par with that in Atlanta. And she had young kids at home and decided she was going to start a network marketing business. And she said, for 5 years, I was really serious about it. I worked it really hard. And I found new customers all the time, but I could never find a business partner. I just couldn't duplicate. And I would look around at other people in the company, and we were all selling the same products. And we were all doing the same kind of presentation. But for some reason, I just couldn't recruit anybody. And I started to take it very personally. I started thinking, what's wrong with me? There's got to be something about me or my personality or the way I do this that just isn't working. And when she went through this program, I have to give her a lot of credit because of all the skills that I saw her use and apply, she really mastered this one. And in lesson 3 of the magic words, I take you through this exercise. It's called profiling your prospects. And I help you get inside the heads of your prospects and truly identify what's important to them. So you know the exact words that you can focus on when you're sharing your products and your business opportunity with them. And Layla did a great job at this. She started customizing her messages. And the first thing she did is she sent an email. She actually shared it with me. It was awesome. She sent an email to this one particular prospect that she had been thinking about for quite a while. This person had been on her chicken list for months. And she wrote a very customized email that spoke clearly to the business opportunity and how specifically it could make a difference for this person. And in a very short time, she ended up recruiting that person into her team, and she became her like big powerhouse leader. It was a major turning point in her business. And Layla's done this in a lot of other ways too. She says when she talks to prospects, that's the first thing she thinks about is what's important to this person. And when she shares her business, she connects the dots. She helps someone see if they want karate lessons for their kids. Hey, this business can help you pay for karate lessons for your kids. Someone else had a student loan they wanted to pay off. My business can help you get that student loan paid off in record time. Let me show you how. Someone wanted a new porch for their house, and so she customized the message in that way. Let me show you how this business can help you afford that new porch. So very simple, but with every prospect, she just got really skilled at hearing or deciding what was important to them and then customizing the message so that it really spoke to that. And it was awesome. In a few months, she had 4 new leaders direct to her. She recruited in total 10 new people in her team because they went out and recruited other people. And she said for the first time, she was duplicating in her business. And she had this team that was now 3 levels deep. It was awesome. And it promoted her to the next level of her business. And all she did was just focus on that one skill and become really great at it. So the big takeaway here, please jot this one down too, is to remember to match your message. Tie it into what's important to them. It doesn't have to be complicated. It can be very simple, but the more customized you can make your messaging, the more specific and relevant it is to the prospect to whom you're speaking, the more it's going to make sense to them and the more likely they will be to say yes. If you don't do this, the problem is people just don't connect the dots on their own. And a lot of what you share with them isn't really going to land. It's not going to make a lot of sense. It doesn't mean anything to them. If you do this, people really get it. They immediately see the difference that your products can make. They immediately see the value in your business opportunity. You will get their attention and they will start responding to you, whether that's through an email or an invitation or a Facebook post. I've just seen it time and again. This is so simple, but I just can't stress it enough. It is the thing that makes the biggest difference. And if you do want some help with that, just know, those of you that'll take part in the program, we're going to work on this in detail. You're going to learn exactly how to profile your prospects. You'll know exactly what benefits to emphasize for the different kinds of people that you're recruiting. And I'll help you come up with some really customized messages that work for your specific products and your business. And just like before, there's all kinds of examples of those in the worksheets as well. So if you want to just dive in and take some of those and go try them out, you can do that. But ultimately, you want to learn this skill so that you can turn around and teach it to your team. And you'll learn how to use this when networking, when sending emails, when posting anything on a website. There's so many different places that you can use this skill, and it truly makes the biggest difference in how people respond. All right, well, I hope at this point you're feeling more inspired. I hope these ideas have got you thinking and you have a greater sense of confidence and belief in your ability to sell products and recruit people. And I promised you as well that I had a special bonus for those of you that stuck around. So here it is. Grab a pen. What I put together, the lovely women that I referred to throughout the webinar, the case studies that I was sharing with you, I have many of these on video. And I put a few of these videos up on a special webpage that only you have access to. And here it is. If you go to magicwordstoselling.com/webinar bonus, www.magicwordstoselling.com/webinar bonus, you'll be able to watch them there. And the reason you want to watch these is you'll hear very specific ways that these gals are using magic words in all the different areas of their business. They talk about how they've used them on business cards and the specific ways they've used them on Facebook and when talking to prospects on the phone and when they're out networking with people. So I just thought as a bonus this would be helpful for all of you to watch because it'll give you some additional ways to actually use these ideas in your business after the webinar is over. And you've heard me say it a lot through the session, but I just want to encourage you again. These ideas can make a massive difference in your results, but you got to use them. You got to go practice them and test them out. So I highly encourage you, take what you've learned today and go use it in your business. This is a must-learn skill. I got to tell you from my heart, having been an entrepreneur for 20 years, having had the success that I've experienced in my business and helping thousands of people like you, if there's one skill that you need to master to make significant money and grow a really solid team, this is it. It is an essential skill. It's a very simple skill, but it is the missing piece for a lot of you. And whether you want to learn this with me or go learn this with someone else, it's fine. You just got to learn the skill. If you do want to learn it with me, obviously the program I put together is completely customized for network marketing, so it's really easy to follow. Everything you learn is going to be completely relevant for your business. I've pretty much done all the work for you through the worksheets and the other things I'm providing. And these are ideas that are already working. So I have no doubt if you plug into this, you will be glad you did and you'll get fantastic results. So here's that information again. If you want to check out the Magic Words self-study coaching program, you can get in on that for one payment of $367, or if you want to do the 3-pay option, it's just 3 payments of $137. And that special rate, again, it's just for the people on this webinar, and it's available for the next 5 days. For those of you that are chomping at the bit and you're ready to get signed up right now, just know that if you do so in the next 48 hours, you'll also get that extra bonus, that fast action bonus, and access to the lead generation blueprint program at no extra cost. And you can see all the details on that special offer right here, www.magicwordstoselling.com/offer. I'll give you a chance to write that down because I know we went through it fast before. www.magicwordstoselling.com/offer. And finally, I just want to take a moment to thank you for being part of this training. I trust what you learned was helpful, and I would love to hear how these ideas work for you. So feel free to email me or message me on Facebook. Keep me in the loop. And I also want to acknowledge you just for having the guts and the courage and the commitment to be building your business. I meet people all the time who tell me they want to make more money and they want to have a better lifestyle. And yet there's so few people who are really committed to do what it takes to make that happen. And obviously that's not you. You wouldn't be on this session. You wouldn't be building your business unless you were someone who was, really had a dream and a vision and was willing to work for it. So I acknowledge you for that. And I encourage you, stick with it. Don't give up on this. They often say it's not the things in life that you do that you regret. It's the things that you don't do. So I wanted to end with this quote by Mark Twain because I think it's really fitting. 20 years from now, you will be more disappointed by the things that you didn't do than by the ones that you do. So throw off the bow lines, sail away from the safe harbor, catch the trade winds in your sails, explore, dream, discover. I encourage you, stay focused, stay committed, stay in activity. Perseverance is all it takes to make this business work. You can do this. And if I can be a small part of that journey and support you in any way, I would consider it my absolute honor. So I'll leave the website up here if you want to check it out, magicwordstoselling.com/offer. And we still have a few minutes to take questions. So if you have questions on anything we covered today or on the program itself, feel free to type those into the chat box there on the screen. And I'll take a few more minutes and go through these with you. Okay, I see some questions coming in here. Just a sec. Let's see if I can read these. We have one from Laura from Forest Lake. Laura's asking, what forms of payment do you accept? I'm pretty sure we accept all major credit cards, Laura. So Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Discover. If you just go to the webpage here on the screen, themagicwordstoselling.com/offer, there should be a place where you can place your order, and I'm pretty sure it'll take any major credit card. If you're having any problems, let me give you an email, and this goes for the rest of you too. If you have any problems ordering or any questions you need some extra help with, just send an email to my assistant, Susan, and you can reach her at support@savvynetworkmarketingwomen.com. I know it's a little long, but it's pretty easy to remember. Support@savvy, S-A-V-V-Y, savvynetworkmarketingwomen.com, and she can help you out. Okay, I see we've got a question here. Joanne from Perth, is the lead generation program relevant in other countries? Oh, good question. It should be, Joanne. For the most part, as I take you through that process, we're teaching you techniques to research and to locate various groups in your own local area, as well as on the internet. The internet obviously is international, so what we teach you there, you can pretty much use in any country in the world. And I'm quite certain most of the other recommendations that we make are also international. They're places or groups you could find in any country. So there might be the odd one that is US based only, but I would say 80–90% of what you learn in that program, you could use in any country in the world. So hopefully that helps. That's a good question. Michelle from Sydney is asking, is this US dollars? Yes, it is. All the pricing is in US dollars. And let's see, Eileen from Columbus, I'm signing up now. On the order summary, it shows a box for a promo code. Is there a code to use? There shouldn't be, Eileen. I'm sending you to a page that has that special discount already on it, so you shouldn't need a promo code. Just ignore that. Just go ahead and enter the info, and the discounted rate should already be showing on the web page there. Okay, Karen from, let's see, Atlanta, yes, is asking, I love this approach. I'd love to take the program. How soon do you think I could see results? That's a good question too. Obviously, it's going to depend on how much time you're devoting to the program, Karen, and how much you're using the skills. So it's a little tricky to answer in that way. I can tell you though, I've seen students get results really quickly. I've even had people get results while they're still on the webinar. In the last webinar I did, there was a gal who was listening to the webinar and she was actually on Facebook at the same time. And she used a few of the phrases and booked a class with somebody. So it can happen that fast. And generally when people start the program, you learn a lot in the first few lessons that are very easy to use. Lots of new skills and ideas you can use immediately. So I've seen students book up their calendar in the first week with new classes. I've seen people make sales and even recruit some new leaders within the first couple weeks. Generally in the first month, you see something change for sure. You know, if you're using the skills and practicing them, I have no doubt you'll start to see some results. It just depends on how much time you're devoting to the program, how much time you're working your business. But often if people are giving it a pretty decent amount of time, you'll see some changes quickly. Okay, let's see. Kimberly is asking, how do you use magic words to get people to host an event for you? That's a good question too. That's let's see, the short answer, Kimberly, because that's a big topic, but to give you a quick sense of what you could do after the webinar, the process is much like selling products or recruiting someone into your team. It's all about benefits. So if you're contacting someone and asking them to host an event for you, what you ultimately want to do is sell them on the event. We need to highlight the benefits that someone would experience by hosting that event and make them an offer they can't refuse, basically. In the Magic Words program, we go through this in a lot of details, and what I help you do actually is look at the kind of event that you offer, whether that's a class or a party or a home show, trunk show. Some of you are doing business launches, but whatever the event is, there'll be a way to position it with your prospects so that they can instantly see the value. And then I help you identify the common objections and concerns that people have too, and eliminate those before they even come up. And when you do that, it just makes the whole idea of hosting for you sound so much more appealing. So I know that's the short answer, but in essence, that's what you want to do. You want to sell the event. You want to be sure to stress the benefits that people experience, the benefits that their attendees will experience. You want to be able to, handle the objections as quickly as possible so that there's really, very little reason that someone wouldn't want to do this for you. All right. Donna here from New York. Can someone on my team register with the link tonight? Yes, between you and I, yes, they can. I mean, again, this isn't a published offer. I'm only offering this up for those of you taking part in the webinar. This is a special thank you gift for all of you. If you share it with your team and I don't know about it and you sign up, that's totally fine. But we're not publishing this. We're not, broadcasting this out to anybody else. This is just up for those of you here on the webinar. And if you do want to share it with someone on your team, that's fine. I don't mind. Let's see. Jenny's asking, do you take PayPal? I believe we do, Jenny. It's not my favorite form of payment because I think we end up having to charge you a service charge when we do that. But yeah, if that's the only method you have to take part in the program, contact Susan again, if you would. Just send an email to support@savvynetworkmarketingwomen.com and she can help you sort that out. Terry from Austin, let's see, your question, can you give a team discount if we want to share this with leaders in our group? Terry, I don't have anything formal in place, but I'm certainly open to discussing that if you think you have a handful of people that would want to do this with you. And I highly recommend, if that's the case, to do it. Obviously, as you go through this and what you learn will make a big difference for your business. But if you had people on your team learning these skills and using them with you, I wouldn't doubt you could see some pretty cool momentum come out of that. So just email us, Terry. You can use that same email I mentioned, support@savvynetworkmarketingwomen.com. Okay, here, let's see. Penny from Toronto, how long do we have access to the program? Penny, it's pretty much lifetime access. We don't have a timeline. We don't shut off the website at some point. Once you've signed up, you can just keep doing this program over and over. And some students do that. They'll go through the entire thing, and then they'll come back and just review little bits of it here and there. They want to keep refining their skills. I often go in and update the materials too. I come up with new cheat sheets or examples that I create as I go with students. So I'll continue to update the materials, and I recommend those of you that are going to join the program, just keep checking back every once in a while because there'll always be something new and fresh for you to learn. Let's see. Jeffrey from Texas, I'm with an energy company. Interesting. Will this approach work for my business? Definitely, Jeffrey. Whether you sell products or services, the language skills are exactly the same. So for any of you listening, if I haven't mentioned your product by name today, just know this approach works for all of it. Absolutely. Mara from Hawaii, does magic words work when talking to family members? Mine have told me no, but I want to go back and try again. It definitely can, Mara. I've had students learn this approach, use these skills, and go back to people that they shared the business with before. And in some cases, they've had a lot of success. And it's generally because you'll just be more effective at communicating the value. Usually if family and friends shut you down, it's nothing personal. It's just that they're not seeing the value that's there for them. So when you learn this approach and you become more skilled at communicating that, I wouldn't doubt that there'll be some that'll take a second look. Can't guarantee it, but in most cases, I'm pretty sure that some people would definitely be more interested. All right, Crystal's asking, how do we get the special rate? Crystal, just use that link on the screen, magicwordstoselling.com/offer. That's a private page I set up just for all of you. So the discount should already be on the page. You don't have to do anything else.